We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance, at least. And that is from the whole cricket.com team. My name's Avni Shagde. And as you can see, suited up for Christmas for all you boys and girls. Who works in Christmas? We do at cricket.com. And we will be relentless in our mission to give you the great cricket content. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to look ahead to in the end of 2023. The Boxing Day test, as we all know, as fans, we absolutely love it. Right, speaking of fans of the game and fans of course, cricket, Akshay Kumaraswamy, our very own Christmas tree for today, wearing the green. And not to forget our Santa Claus in terms of all the fantasy cricket and the cricket insights you need, Nikhil Popar. Nikhil, I'll start with you because I absolutely loving the Santa hat.
Yeah, this was on strict instructions from my daughter that it is Christmas shoot, so you should definitely do it. And I said, you can't disagree there. And then it's always good to feel and celebrate all we can. It's been a tough testing year for all of us in different ways in one. So looking forward to the cricket now. Lots and lots of cricket to come.
Absolutely. Akshay, has Santa been kind in 2023?
Not really. I mean, yeah, like Nikhil Bhai said, it's been a bit of a, topsy-turvy year, like a lot of new experiences, of course. Never really thought, I'd be sort of, pursuing something in cricket. So yeah, that was a great thing for me. But yeah, a lot of other things going on. Yeah, going up and about. We can always be hopeful about the next year for sure.
The best thing was MNL. So there is something always to be positive about.
True. That's true.
And you know what? MNL is a gift which keeps giving. Where episode 22, I was going to say, 22, I just got it right. And it makes you think how much more we're going to go. We're just going to go insane, especially next year, because we're going to literally get a guest every week. So, of course, what are you waiting for? Subscribe if you guys are new and like this video, because we're here doing a Christmas show. And look, we're going to be doing a New Year show as well, because that's how Monday falls. And no matter what, how hungover we are, we will, of course, be there. Emraj is saying, hi, guys, how are we? You know what? Let me just talk to you through my day, because I had an absolutely brilliant lunch thanks to one of my kindergarten friends. So shout out to the whole Krishna household over there. And it just makes me ask you guys, how was your Christmas so far? And has it been a memorable one? Akshay, we'll start with you. I'm sure you had some turkey, chicken, whatever it was.
Nope, unfortunately, none of that happening. I did go out yesterday, with my niece and the lot outside. We just went out shopping. My niece had her birthday last week, and I hadn't yet gotten her birthday gift, so yesterday was a perfect time. Went to Hamleys and sort of became a kid myself. Really was very difficult for me to not shop something for myself. Fantastic store that. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Went out, spent some good quality family time, and yeah, came back. No, a nice, fairly sober Christmas.
Absolutely. It's one of those festivals where you absolutely really soak into it, especially like Diwali, Christmas. You could smell it and feel it in the air. Nix, any traditions in the Popat household? And he's on mute on Christmas, Nikhil. Wow, I didn't expect that.
So that's the first. So usually 25th is when I know whether I'm covering the 26th early morning game or the afternoon game. So that was just, I had a lot of flashbacks today. I don't know how for some reason, but it went out last night looking for lights in the city with daughter. Couldn't find till 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Came back home, and all I'm doing is catching up on sleep. And they have gone out, and I'm home alone now. So that's just how cricket works. Sometimes it's okay. We keep trying.
Absolutely. And you know what? When we talk about cricket and Christmas, we normally talk about the day which follows Christmas in terms of Boxing Day and how we can't really wait. South Africa versus India are going to be happening. And then not to forget Australia versus Pakistan as well. And there's things to talk about with regards to both those series. We're going to be looking back to the India women's and how they destroyed England. Of course, didn't watch it, go check out Akshay's reviews with the new girls on board. It was absolutely brilliant to get their insight on this Indian juggernaut. And of course, there's lots to look forward to in the ODI series, which starts on the 28th of December. Shriyanka Padal, Sekha Shah getting their ODI caps, touch wood. So it's been a great year for women's cricket, and onwards and upwards. We'll also talk about the whole Usman Khawaja, not controversy, but just lend our thoughts into it. And I know a certain Vasant Narayan is, of course, animated in the comments already. We'll bring that up. We'll, of course, bring up Manoj Anderson's question as well, all the miscellaneous ones towards the fag end of the show in the 12th man corner, and not to forget Akshay's quiz, which is a good one today. So stick around. There's lots more. And I don't know where you guys are. You guys might be watching it tomorrow on a Tuesday. But if you guys are, please like this video before we kick off things. Remember, there's going to be a little bit of IPL chat as well. So all you lovers of the IPL cricket, we're going to, of course, discuss the worst buys. And that'll be food for thought, especially with Akshay and Nikhil around. But look, we have to talk about Boxing Day tests at the start of this show. And we'll start with South Africa versus India, boys. Straight away off the bat, are we winning this test series? Because it's just a two-match test series, and it's a monkey that India want to get off their bat, right? So, Nick's, is it positive heading into the series, or do you still think we're having our questions?
We are having our questions with a relatively younger batting core. Again, batting core means you have three. You have a new guy at three, at one, and at five. Potentially low down the order also. Who knows? So let's see. Rohan Patil, that is scary, but I hope we just get good things coming along in the new year. So that, and of course the selection of Prasid or Mukesh or Shardul, how does that work out? Because we saw what happened in the last two. You won the first test, but you lost the next two trying to unable to defend the score. That is something you don't usually see in Test cricket. That when you get a score in that range, in that kind of nation, you feel you have the resources. India had the resources then. India have the resources now. But I think a lot will come to how quickly they adapt to it. You missed the hit direct bowler last year, but you don't have Shami now. So there are things to take care of. As I said, I'll stick to 1-1 prediction because I feel both teams have their weaknesses. South Africa probably batting, India probably bowling a bit more. Who knows? So might be they'll even out each other and we'll have a great test series to view.
Yeah, I like the fact that you've gone for a 1-1 prediction. More on the predictions with the boys in just a bit in terms of series scoreline, but Nix has let the cat out of the bag there. Let us know as well in the comments if you guys agree with Nix in terms of 1-1 or you think there will potentially be a stalemate. Remember, earlier today we did see, or rather hear from Rohit Sharma at the pre-match press conference. Some interesting quotes there, Akshay, which was put out on cricket.com and its Twitter page, X, as you guys know. So follow us there as well. It just tells you what Rohit was like lending into about how spinners are going to play second fiddle. So we already potentially ruling Ashwin out, even though it's blasphemous in some parts of the world.
To be honest, yeah. I mean, again, I'm sort of on the fence when it comes to this. I would understand if they played Ashwin. I would understand if they don't play Ashwin, because of the conditions that'll be on offer at the Super Sport Park. And yeah, I mean that's it. Yeah, I still don't think I'm entirely clear. Which way should the Indian side be leaning towards? Because I also like the look of. Shardul's batting against pace, but against South Africa, different conditions. So we're not sure. Batting, he bola Nikhil bhai in case. I like that. So I like what he has to offer. But again, South Africa, different conditions. So we're not sure yet कि मतलब वहाँ पे कैसे खेलेंगे. In case you guys haven't checked the preview that Anirudh Suresh sort of dished out today, do check that out as well, where he also speaks about how South Africa has been a graveyard in general for batters, especially in the test format in the last 4-5 years. South Africa average is the lowest. So given all of these, you would want to sort of taking that into consideration, maybe Ashwin is a safer bet, both in terms of batting and bowling. So it's a proper confusion in my head. I'm still not sure either ways.
Okay, speaking of that preview, let's just, of course, throw it on screen right now. 2 years after a painful fumble, India look to conquer their final frontier. It's a good one. It's a tactical preview. It tells you about the makeup of the sides. Yes, sides, not just India, and things to which look out for. And it'll be interesting to see how Team India go about their business. More on that on the cricket.com website. But I want to ask you boys right now, who starts then for India? Give me your 11s and we'll just debate it with the guys in the comments as well. Because a lot of people reckon 1-0 to South Africa. First match draw due to rain, saying Manoj Anderson, Sachin saying 1-1 and echoing Nikhil's thoughts. And will India be able to play some sweet chin music this time around? Time will tell, Ashutosh, but good questions. Keep your comments coming through. So what is your makeup of Team India first, Nikhil? And what would you like them to see? Hypothetically, the stage is yours.
So I think the batting order is pretty much set in Jaiswal and Rohit opening. You should have Gill at 3, Kohli at 4, Shreyas at 5, KL Rahul to keep at 6, which is I think is a fairly deep lineup with Jadeja at 7. Now comes the question, and again the perennial number 8 guy and the discussions around it. But I'd probably discuss that later. You'll add Shardul, you'll add Bumrah there in that mix. So you have 8 guys there, and you have Siraj. So that's 9. Now 10 and 11 again. You could go with. I don't see with Rain also the need for an extra spinner. It will
Yeah.
not eventually work out. You'd rather be happy to lose, to put it in Shane Warne's great words. Really be happy to be able to lose to try and win the game. So probably Prasid plays there instead of the spinner to hit the deck and use the bounce. And then my last pick, you see, you have batting depth somewhat with Bumrah, but you still need some more. I wouldn't say backup, but Shadul did decently on the last trip. So you have to trust him, because if you don't, then what's the point of picking them? So I think at this point of time, because it's not a one-off series, I'd want them to try out Shardul there. So that will probably make it to Shardul at 8, Bumrah 9, Prasid 10, and Siraj at 11. And Siraj at 11 is fine. So you have enough pace bowling options, one guy to do the holding job, and batting will be needed. So good luck for it.
What would you tell a staunch Ashwin fan then, Akshay? Pretty much because of conditions, because of Shardul's performance last time around, you can't really reject that. So, do you think Ashwin fans would be understanding that thought process?
They have to. I mean, they don't really have an option because I completely agree with Nikhil Bhai. Again, number 8 is sort of my only bone of contention. But again, like I said, I would be fine if the Indian side swung the other way as well. But that's highly unlikely based on what Rahul Dravid also had to say and based on how they have looked at it. So yeah, I mean, fine. As an Ashwin fan, who I mean, I personally am also one of them. I'm one of those rather. So yeah, I mean, we only have to make peace with it. All of us, yeah, all of us, of course. There's no other way of sort of going about it.
Do you guys look? Sorry. Do you guys like the look of that middle order, that Team India middle order? Because KL Rahul potentially batting at 5 in Test for the first time, guys.
Yeah, I don't remember him batting in the middle order before, so that should be it. And the one bit that I'm very, I wouldn't say optimistic about, but I'm looking forward to that is, the conditions are not going to be that you need 350, 400. You're probably going to need 250, 300 in those ranges, and conditions will be tough. So the options that Gill, the options that Shreyas will take are probably going to be on the aggressive side, as opposed to being the guys who will play the waiting game. So that is something that I'm very interested to see, that South Africa are not going to come soft or gently by any stretch of imagination. You'll have Kodze, Ngiri, Rabada. They'll all want to be hitting the deck, getting bounce and stuff. So maybe that is just what makes me feel that okay, they have all the things that they need, and KL will again, fortunately, unfortunately, be the guy, the center of attention, because I think he's the one who has to just be himself, play as per the situation. He does that the best, and the rest up and down below him can really then just flourish. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that is what happens for him also, and he's able to keep wickets, because you don't want him to bat higher up the order and increase his workload.
Hmm.
So hopefully that is how it pans out.
Okay. Arish, Merry Christmas to you. Going on to ask Prasid and Mukesh who makes a cut. We all feel Prasid will because, again, hit the deck bowler. KL, of course, who scored 100 the last time around there. So he was also of the fact that, I mean, no Karnataka bias, but I'm guessing he's told Rohit that maybe Prasid would be a better shot this time around. And we feel Prasid too here at cricket.com. Mohammad Irfan saying big game for Jaiswal and Gill. But it's exciting times because we're, of course, in this little transition phase where we've kind of ushering Jaiswal in and Gill in, and rightly so as well. Pranavana and Akshay going on to say South Africa start favourites in his opinion. How will KL go with wicket keeping? Then Iyer has to prove too. Then add to that the bowling attack. Unka sabse chota pacer hamara tallest se bada hai. Which I can't believe I read actually properly because my Hindi normally
See,
slanders.
this is something Stain said, I think, in one of the previews somewhere, that his height isn't far too much different from the heights of the Indian bowlers, and it's only Jansen who's probably looks like one of the tallest and is able to get more. But you'll have to be able to adapt, and that is what is the part of cricket, right? When you travel, you have to adapt. India have had a horrible worst case scenario in the last series. If after that you're not able to adapt, then you have to question everybody involved with the bowling setup, that you can't say that I don't have a bowler like that. You can't just go out there and produce sort of machine. So you have to be able to find a length that works for you. And hopefully the height aspect is something where Prasid will take care and Bumrah will take care. But the other two will play a massive role in Siraj and Shadu, because if they don't show control, then this bowling attack will travel. And hopefully that doesn't happen.
I agree with you. Control sometimes is so important, especially in pace conducive pitches in South Africa. And even though there's no Rabada, no Nokia, no Ngidi potentially, let's see how Kotse and, of course, Janssen go about their business. Pranavanand also going to say Shardul will play if we go by Dravid's comments. 20 wickets will fall, but those extra 40 50 runs are important too. Plus overcast conditions, probably. Rohan Patel reckons 2-0 South Africa. Go away, go away. We want positive vibes. But look, you're free to have your opinion. Indeed. And Pranav, yeah, thanks for reminding us. We did put out the best of 2023 in all the moments. And when I was watching the first cut, I was actually telling one of my peers, and it's a tear of joy sort of moment, because you're looking at all unravel. What a great year of cricket, and the fact that we traveled and touched so many hearts and have grown, it makes me really, really chuffed doing this job. So Ashutosh Bajpai going to say, in South Africa, Akshay, average overs per innings are less. Can we expect longer spell from pacers? And if no, will it not be better to have four pace options? Friendly reminder, beg your pardon, to fans that there's no impact player. But in terms of how Kohli also was captaining the test team and how he brought the best out of that pace battery, it was short bursts, right? Would you expect the same team with Rohit and the bowlers tomorrow?
Yeah, and we will have four pace options, right? Like based on the 11 that we discussed, and which is also most likely going to be what India would field. We will have Prasid, Siraj, and of course Jasprit Bumrah as our frontline pacers. Shardul can do one of those supporting acts, with Jadeja of course being there, as and when any of the other pacers need rest. So we have four pace options, and I do agree that we do need four pacers. And as far as the length of the spells are concerned, it solely depends on the day, the rhythm, and all of that. So I wouldn't comment on that personally. But yeah, 100% agree there. I just wanted to go back to one of the comments. What was it? We need seven batting options and not six. I'm not sure if I got that right. Who was it? The one that you just displayed. Yeah, we don't need five bowlers. Should play seven batters, says Rohan Patel. Now that's an interesting point. Nikhil bhai, do you agree with that? Especially given how inexperienced some of our batters are when it comes to these conditions. Do you agree with us having seven batters in just four bowling options? Is that something you would sort of entertain?
I would say that is a line of thought that has been debated for a long period of time. And it's very rare. See, great sides have, at times, I feel, have played four only when they're very, very sure and confident of their bowling attack also. So it is not just the batting that you're thinking about, but your bowling also. You need to have an option, because you are losing test in sessions also. So it's not the day of the past where you are going to wait, and then something happens. So वैसा नहीं होता. You can eventually lose because of a horrible poor session, and that has happened in the past with India also. So at this point of time, I don't think India have the bowlers who you can say, okay, by only let's just play these four guys. I'll play seven batters. So uh, it is something that you could do at home, but then at home in those seven batters you have a certain Akshar Patel who does a lot of job for you. So in that sense you can make up for it, but not overseas. So I think there's still some time to go there.
Imagine they do this, what Ashutosh is saying in the comments, Akshay. So Iyer sits out. Ashwin becomes our seven potentially. Jadeja at six, who of course is no mark with a bat, especially in Test. It's his best format with a bat. Do you think that could be a rabbit out of the hat and have as many bowling options, or do you think no, they will play with Iyer?
To a left field choice, but I also sort of see the merit. I can see where they're coming from. I'm not saying it's a completely ludicrous, suggestion. So I sort of see that will be a walking wicket, might be a bit of a stretch, but we all know his sort of troubles, so to say, against the short tail ends. But again, let's sort of wait. Let's see him play. Uske baad, let's sort of go to any conclusions, get to any conclusions. Abhi ke liye toh I'm just expecting good things from Shreyas Iyer in this format.
All right. Good to see a lot of you guys join us on Christmas. Please like this video, 50 if you guys watching right now, and there'll be plenty more because the Monday Night Live bandwagon is picked up. And how? Ahmed Guna, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to Introspect, Paras, Raj Krishna. If you're joining us for the first time, do as told. Subscribe and like, that is. And there was a strange comment. Who was that? Yeah, Raja Human. Hi, Shanta. I mean, I don't know if he's Shanta Claus. Shanta Claus? No. Do you have anything to give me? I don't. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. There was no
We
Secret
have
Santa in the office as well.
we have a lot of good cricket content to give you right
Yeah.
through the year. So not just
Yeah.
for the Christmas, for the entire year. If you want it, subscribe, tell a friend. Cheers.
Perfect. I mean, it's as easy as said. Guys, lastly then, because we of course delved into this about 15 minutes or odd, but I just want to get your predictions out of the way. Most runs, most wickets, and series scoreline. So, what's your gut feeling, guys? We'll start with most runs. Akshay, who are you going for? Is it a certain Virat Kohli?
Of course, that is the popular choice. I'll actually say, Rohit Sharma. This is his first tour here as an opener, so I'm expecting him to come good. I just hope, he also is able to redeem himself in whatever little way possible from what happened last month. So yeah, I'm going for Rohit Sharma. I'm backing him.
Rohit Sharma, I like that. And he, of course, mentioned that you can't just play survival cricket in South Africa. You have to score runs. Hopefully, the latter is the scene. You echo those thoughts, Nikhil, Rohit, or do you think you'd go South African?
I'd go Kale Round because going to bat in a very crucial spot. Probably going to look to bat longer as well. So that is one of the reasons why I think one of KL Rohit. See, Rohit will definitely make impact. That's beyond a question. He'll definitely be the guy. And if he's able to bat deep, then nothing like it. I'd want him to score hundreds in every innings if he can. But again, just being very, very realistic, I don't expect a lot of runs being scored right through the two series, right through the two tests. Sorry. So KL Round from India and South Africa. I don't know. It could be David Bedingham. Who knows? It could be Babuma or it could even be Markram. So not quite bit sure of the Indian attack there. So let's see. Maybe after one test in a better space.
Or it could be Keegan Peterson, who I was probably thinking he'll bite us again, similar deja vu vibes. I'm going to say Virat Kohli, and I'm not just going to say it because I'm
Yeah.
a biased man. I'm going to say that because, of course, he's going to play a lot more seam than spin, even though Maharaj will be holding one end up. And I think the threat will be Janssen more than anything else. Obviously, there is a chance for Mulder or Coetzee to create inroads as well. But Virat, with just the year and how it's gone for him in ODIs, he got that test 100 against Australia in the BGT earlier, and I think he'll end the year on a high. So I predict that, and I think he'll start 2024 on a high as well.
I'm just saying, as long as most runs are not scored by Gerald Coetzee and Marco Jansen, I'm fine. That's that's my secret Santa wish in open. ये नहीं चाहिए बाकी जो होगा चलेगा.
Okay, then, Nikhil, speaking of the bowlers, who's going to get most wickets then? Two tests, so it's hard to call. Four innings, it's pretty much anyone, but I'm guessing Bumrah or who else?
I'm going Kodze, purely from the point of view of him being the guy who's going to be used as an enforcer, and because India will look to take him on, is what I feel about it. That's where the chances will be created. With Jasprit, it's gone the Rashid way, where everybody's very careful and they don't want to get out to him. So you are then playing them with that much more determination. So it'll take a lot of great stuff from Bumrah to get there. And we have to remember this is his first Test series since July 2022. So all I'm hoping for is a smooth entry and staying there. From India's lens, I'm looking at potential bowlers who can take wickets in bunches. So it could even be Siraj. I don't see Jadeja doing much in terms of it will be great if he can do it. But from the Pacers POV, I think Siraj could have a really good time if he gets going.
Interesting. Siraj, Pranav Anand reckoning Shardul Thakur, most plays in plays in Mrs.
Todd
L.
Zorzi.
Garwood.
You have Zorzi now. I think Tony D. Zorzi will be the guy who is going to be the next Dean Elgar for us. I can already see it happening. We already saw it in the ODIs.
Okay, and Pranjal also going to say Siraj will be the
Yeah,
highest wicket taker, his bet.
fair.
Who do you think it is then, Akshay? Bumrah for you, Siraj, Shardul?
I'm actually going to say Prasid. I've really waited, long to see him play in this format, which I consider to be his best format.
Best
And
format.
also, yeah, given his natural length, what he likes to bowl, these conditions will also suit that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him, go all guns blazing in the red ball format. So yeah, I'm actually going to stick to him. This is more of a hope than a prediction. I hope that he ends up being the highest wicket taker of the series.
Okay, Nikhil gave us his 1-1 prediction. Are you echoing those thoughts, Akshay? Or do you think it'll be a winner?
Yeah, India 2-0.
Love it. 2-0 away win.
He's
Absolutely
going to
brilliant.
overcompensate the entire year. ठीक है.
And look, Rohit Sharma said it himself in the press conference, saying that a win here really won't make us forget the World Cup because the World Cup's a World Cup, but it'll do them a world of good. And it's still something that India haven't done: win a series in South Africa. Can they do it this time? Only time will tell. Let us know in the comments as well. We're asking you that, and we're asking you different things in terms of Monday Night Live in just a bit. Lots of more cheeky comments coming through in terms of introspect. I can visualize India being 64, 105 in each innings. Manoj Anderson going on to say this time Bumrah has to face bouncers from Jansen. Last time there was a fight between the both. I remember that. And where was the other one where literally I can visualize Shreyas wicket, keep pitching short and stay in the back foot and pitching one up. And Pranjal, I don't know, Super Sport and DRS. We've heard it on that stump, Mike. We've heard, who was it? Mayank Agarwal, KL, Ashwin, Virat, pretty much everyone. And it was hilarious more than anything. Ash shouldn't be playing with 50 average and 110 strike rate in South Africa. He's talking his bowling numbers as well. And Pranav going on to say expect a counter-attacking century from Iyer this time. I'll tell you what, I'm going for a 1-0 India series win. I think one will be washed out, the first one, but we'll see exciting cricket, I think. And look, there you have it. Different opinions. Nick's gone for a 1-1, Akshay going for a bold 2-0, and I've gone for a realistic 1-0. So let us know who you agree with, and we'll move on to, of course, talking about more Indian cricket right now, just quickly about how good the women were, because they didn't just beat England, they beat the mighty Aussies, Akshay, and you broke it down with the girls. A quick recap, and now that you look back at it in the cold light of day, is it exciting times, especially with the fact that they're going to play more test cricket? That's the positive.
To be honest, that's a sad part because it is exciting times and that fantastic result, fantastic performance, in both the tests. But FTP agar utha ke dekhenge, India does not play another match till the T20 World Cup across formats. So that's the unfortunate truth, and I hope these results and these tours sort of change that, and we get to see a lot more game time for the Indian Eves as well. But yeah, fantastic performances from all of them. Sneerana with the red ball is just like a delight to watch. And it was very, very, very heartening to see Smriti Mandana be assured against Ashley Gardner in that last innings yesterday. Bhai, matlab, I was just, I had tears of joy in my heart. In my eyes, just seeing that. But it was great. It was really great to watch the Indian team play out of their skins, because again, we know what happened, we know the banter, we know Elisa Healy had sort of mentioned all those taunts, all those terms. Invincibles is what they sort of called themselves, and yeah, good to see India sort of prove the fact that they're no less than the best side in the world, and the so-called best side in the world. Fantastic result for them, and now yeah, on to the white ball side of things.
It honestly can't get better, Nikhil, because when you look at how women's cricket has unfolded, especially in 2023, everything is kind of gone their way, which it should have already 5-6 years ago, in my opinion. But the WPL, now with India's teams really picking up pace, and hopefully the cherry on the cake will beating Australia in this series which follows. How do you kind of sum up the position Indian women's cricket teams right now at the end of 2023? Do you think it's positive?
Of course, I think 100% it is positive. It's far better. You have a better, at least, potential look at that. Okay, these are all the great options that we could have in the future if we keep investing in the WPL. We take it outside of one state, have more teams being part of the setup in the near future, more test matches for them, regular tours in terms of, again, we don't see longer format tours for most of these sides in women's cricket, but the option of 3-4 guys playing in the WBBL, you have more options now. Tomorrow, I would love to see Snare Anna being part of the Smash in New Zealand or WBBL, or even anywhere else, whether they want to play wherever they want to play in the CPL. Sri Lanka Patil did wonders there. So I think it's a year that I think we'll all look back and say that okay, it was 2023 when all of this turned around for them. So hopefully that is how I'm manifesting all of this. And again, as Akshay rightly pointed out, it's good to beat the teams that set the narrative, because they sometimes speak more than they win. So it's always great to have those good performances, because it was very, again, credit to, all Talia, Perry, everybody, they fought brilliantly on that third day, because you kind of felt that, okay, this could get really interesting before India just came back and please bowl more Harmanpreet Kaur. Sincere request from an Indian cricket fan. I have seen you take wickets in the BBL. I have made you captain, vice captain. Not talking from the fantasy lens, but please bowl more for India. That entire over deserves a web show. It was so epic, full of banter. Everything you got everything in there. Beating, wicket, shouts and whatnot. So hopefully, this system will keep giving us a lot more positives to talk about, and hopefully they'll also play a lot more game to get better at. See, that's where Australia is trying now, starting to feel that, okay, teams are getting to them far easily than they used to in the past, because they're all playing so much more cricket. So hopefully that is the order of the day.
Indeed, I can't echo those thoughts even more. And I feel like women's cricket, I've just enjoyed it, especially in the last couple of years. Watching every game of the WPL when we did watch alongs is brilliant. Speaking of watch alongs, remember the ODI series gets over in the second, where you'll see Akshay and the girls do reviews, I'm sure. But the watch alongs also start on the 5th of Jan. So we'll be there to talk about everything 5th, 7th, and 9th. And it's, of course, against the mighty Aussies. And it's that same squad that India lost to against England. But nevertheless, let's see how that really pans out. All you people watching, I know you guys have your thoughts in the comments, and I'll try to pander to some of them right now. I mentioned Elisa Healy versus Harmanpreet, match-changing aggression. It was good to see the spirit of cricket come through with the whole camera and taking pictures happening, whatever you have to make of that. And BMK going on to say Akshay and Avnish. Avnish, it is not Avinash. Please don't call me that. It's absolutely like a dagger to my heart. This time we bailed you out of the option if the IPL. I mean, absolutely. Thank you, Kavya Maranji. We can't worship you. We're thinking of kind of getting a statue in a nearby park near office for you and naming it the Kavya Maran Park and doing jogs there. And of course, thinking about SRH, how they saved our bacon. Speaking of which, it's a perfect segue to get into the IPL chat right now, right here on Monday Night Live. And we're going to be, of course, looking back at some of the shocking buys which happened in the IPL auction right now. We've all kind of enlisted two or three which we really want to call out. And before I kind of get this segue off, I just want to, of course, share my screen yet again, which I love doing from time to time, and showing you a little poll that we put out. Remember, now this was, of course, a post that we put out on YouTube. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but we asked you essentially who you guys thought was the worst. Now, a lot of y'all went for Mitchell Stark. 55% of y'all went for Mitchell Stark. Just 12% Pat Cummins, 15% Spencer Johnson, and 18% Al Mitchell. And in the comments, they were going at it, which is always good to see. Who was it? Nirmalya Banerjee going on to say worst for 16 crores in Alzari and Dayal. And I agree with that to a certain extent. But let's get the boys' thoughts first. Akshay, I'll start with you because you're the most vociferous in terms of all the IPL viewing. Worst buy. Give me an RCB name as well. I know you'll say Lockie Ferguson.
I'll definitely counter that for sure. But yeah, when it comes to, so at least in my head, when I'm trying to understand or evaluate a buy, the 3 points that I consider: one is the player itself, what I think of the player. Second is the price at which that said player has been bought. And third is the fit, whether that player actually fits into the overall scheme of things for that respective side. So these are the 3 things that I sort of try and evaluate. And by all these parameters, 2 even more so than the third one, than the first one, which is the player itself, I'll have to say Pat Cummins was the worst buy of the auction. I personally don't think the price was, worth it, 20.5 crores. And I don't think he's a good fit for SRH, given the lineup they have and given the options they already had, in their armory. I know Nikhil Bhai might disagree with us. We'll definitely sort of open it to him as well. But yeah, the player, of course, very good. Highly rate him, of course. But 20 crores too expensive. So those are the 2 reasons why I don't think. Why I do think, Pat Cummins was the worst buy of the auction. And as far as Alzari Joseph is concerned, since a couple of you mentioned and since Avnish wanted me to sort of address RCB's buys as well, again, I rate him highly. So the player itself is good. The price was definitely expensive. I don't think 11.5 crores is what he should have been, paid. But it is the mini auction, so I can still live with, Alzari Joseph being paid 11.5 crores, Dan say Pat Cummins being paid 20.5, but again, that's completely personal. And third, he fits into RCB scheme of things, something I've spoken about multiple times during our previous MNL episodes, that Alzari Joseph is definitely one name I wouldn't mind RCB going for. So happy to see that. So given that he's ticked those two boxes, so I don't think Alzari Joseph is as bad a buy as is being made out to be. Yash Dayal, again, personally, I genuinely rate him. I know 5 crores, once again, no two questions about it, definitely expensive. And the buy sort of looks even more foolish in hindsight, because right after that, Kartik Tyagi went for just 60 lakhs. And everyone, sort of was gung ho about ki boss Kartik Tyagi 60 lakh mein gaya. Again, hindsight, unfortunately, yeah, not to be RCB's brightest day under the sun. It's like auction is the one area where I thought RCB could sort of nail, given the kind of think tank they had. But hands down, RCB's worst buy, according to me, has to be, who Avnish. I don't think I need to say the name out.
Lock or Tom?
Lock. Any day lock. Tom, if anything, Tom actually feel could be an underrated pick. He's not done himself any favors after what he's done. Don't even start me on that. Don't even start me on that. But Lockie has to be my sort of worst pick. My pick for RCB's worst buy of this auction. Akshat, I can't help but sort of take this comment. He says, "Lol, it's like justifying RCB management now. Lol, Akshay, come on, कुछ भी." भाई ये मेरा पर्सनल ओपिनियन है यार, इस पे मैं क्या अभी बोलूं. आई एम जस्ट सेइंग हाउ आई there's nothing baki. I genuinely hope this happens. RCB utilize Manoj Bhandke. There's also Saurav Chauhan, but he is untested when it comes to sort of this level of cricket. So I really hope Manoj Bhandke gets a look in, and he definitely gets some game time. RCB were clueless, but not sure what Andy Flower and Faf were considering. Alzari's Joseph performing. Dekho, it can be anything. It might be that familiarity thing, because the three of them have played together. In fact, Faf and Alzari played together even at last season's SA20, for JSK. Could be the case. I'm not denying that. Alzari might go on to have a bad season. Not even going to deny that. But oh my goodness, yeah. Akshay Bruce Books. एक तो भाई कोपियम क्या है यार, एक क्या नाम आज फूंक लो तुम लोग जो मेरे को मैं सुना भी नहीं हूँ. Wish I was that positive. Another auction, another blunder by RCB. Where are the bowlers? Sachin bhai, ek to another auction, another blunder bhai. Again, yaar, see, this is where now I'll have to sort of openly, call this stuff out. Boss, again, I know it's very cool to call RCB out, to diss RCB bhai, but please stop saying RCB have been having one bad auction after another. Last year तो कुछ किया भी नहीं उन लोगों ने. उनके पास 4 करोड़ था. They took Reece Topley, they took Will Jacks. They had by their standards, they had a fairly silent auction. Even mega auction, I don't think they did anything bad. They had clarity. Again, I might not agree with the picks myself. Let me be clear. Let me make myself clear. I might not agree with the picks themselves, but all I'm looking for is clarity, some sort of direction that they're looking at, which I see in Andy Flower as well. He's made it clear he wants a batting heavy unit. He wants a unit that can score in excess of 220 runs. Now, in the process, has he built a bowling unit that will concede 250 runs? I don't know. Could be the case. I'm just looking for some method in all this madness. So yeah, that's sort of my 2 cents on that.
Whew, that's insane. That was a rant if there ever was. Akshay and RCB honestly just go hand in hand. It's ridiculous. BMK, keep your comments coming through. A switch from Monday Night Raw to Monday Night Live. It's got a good ring to it. We absolutely appreciate that. And I want to throw the question in Nikhil right now, and then I'll tell you who I think is the worst buy in the IPL auction. We're asking you that as an MNL question tonight. This is a trend which has started in the last 3 weeks. We'll, of course, ask you an intriguing question so the comments can keep throwing themselves in. Nix, tell me about your worst auction buy. I mean, what is it? Who is it? Why is it?
Rally Riso for Punjab.
I knew it. Even I want to go for them. Even I wanted to do that. 8 crores.
Because I don't know what it solves. You wanted a backup to Baster, you could have taken Phil Salt. You already have 3 options, 2 good options, at least on paper, in Livingston and Sam Curran. You have Sikandar Raza. You have Sikandar Raza. Sorry, you have Sikandar Raza. Sorry again, you have Sikandar Raza. How do you then feel the need that you need another overseas guy? Where is the spot? If you want to open with him, you have Sikandar Raza. And this feels like a very good reel worthy content, but it is just what it is. I don't think he was part of their first plans. And yeah, thank you, Kushal, just for that. Because I felt everybody still tried to plug a hole that, okay, Cummins, you want leadership, you want our option. Okay, understood. Stark, you wanted a pace, a guy to lead the attack. Okay, you got an option. Price secondary है. Russo का मैं price भी debate नहीं कर रहा हूँ. I just feel they already have a lot of top order options. So in that regards, going so heavy on Riley when you already have options there, but you don't have a middle order batter. Now, if Riley can bat in the middle order and score 3-4 centuries, great. But then they'll have to use him that way. Can they do it? I don't know. So that's why I feel Riley, really Russo is that guy. Nothing against him. It's just I think not probably the best place to play at that spot in that side.
Bro, she was just chucking money at him. Preeti on Riley.
I mean, you could
Akshay.
have taken Phil Salt as a very happy, informed guy.
Yeah.
He's just there in front of you. You could have even gone for Harry Brook if you wanted to shell out so much money. Much better option. But I don't know. There are some things we will only see. Kya bata?
Yeah, it's strange. Akshay, so you wanted to come in here?
Yeah, I actually wanted to understand a bit more because I remember during the watch along as well, I mentioned Riley Russo as one name they could potentially go for, but I solely looked at it as a base price pick. कि अगर base price पे मिलता है तो they can probably even look at him. But I actually wanted to know because you also mentioned कि it's not even about the price. You genuinely don't think Riley Russo fits into their scheme of things. But don't you think as a backup for Liam Livingston, at least from a batting POV, because Mohali में खेलेंगे, धर्मशाला में खेलेंगे, which is far better than playing at the at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. Don't you think Riley Russo can be some sort of value add? Of course, price पे तो debate ही नहीं है. 8 crore is probably 7.5 crores too expensive for my liking. But yeah, I just wanted to understand a bit more on that because conditions he sort of relishes those conditions. He prefers pace. He of course is very sort of sus against swing and all of that against the new ball. But he अगर power play के बाद आता है, don't you think मतलब Mohali could potentially not be the worst menu for him?
But then how do you slot him in? Who are
That
you playing?
backup as solely as a Liam Livingston backup middle order में अगर Livingston
But then
out of form
Livingston
injured.
ka backup. See, Livingston is your multi-dimensional player who is going to
True.
give you batting at 5-6. With on his day, he could bowl 4 regularly. He's not that bad. He could bowl 3-4, and he could bowl at any point of time. You could chuck him in last over of the power play, not at the end, of course, but anywhere else. I don't see with very very again no disrespecting anybody or any skill. I just feel when you have one particular department excellence there, then you just have to be very good to have a very high price, which I don't know if is the case with Riley. He's very, very high variance. And again, if he's a backup to Besto, I am still okay to sell that point that okay, you got him as a backup to Besto, and say that you don't want something happens to if Dhawan gets injured and you want an opener, maybe you'll push him up the top. But then that I think is just planning for too much. It's like trying to solve a problem that's not there. You're creating a problem by that sense, and you actually don't have a middle order batter who's in form or an Indian option who you let go of. तो तुम्हारे पास एक finisher नहीं है. So that means you will invariably have to play two of the three all-rounders. You will play best up top. You will play Rabada slash Elish. तो तुमको लिविंगस्टन सैम करन और राजा में से किसी दो को तो खिलाना ही है. So जगह नहीं है. तो for a backup again you already have अतर बताया. You're doing Prabhsimran Singh is doing good in the power play. So again, ठीक है, they'll have definitely have their own thought process, but I just felt weird because
Oh,
there were
fair
other
enough.
options.
Yeah, even the fact that Harshal Patel went for a lot of money and that surface, I don't know if it makes sense, but you can still see how it comes
Yeah.
through. Yeah, go on, Nix.
Basically, Harshal is still an Indian guy who will play all 14 games and you can use him anywhere you want with the bat also. You see him, okay, bhai, spinners are bowling, go out there, hit me 3 sixes in 2 overs, come out. He'll do the job for you. That is
Yeah.
still a better punt to take on as opposed to taking an overseas guy. I think your overseas guys in the IPL franchises, we've had enough sample size to say you really have to be picking them for a very specific role. And you have to play them in their best role only. So
Yeah.
let's see how they go about that.
Yeah, role clarity is something that all the franchises would give their players for sure. Akshit, I know what you're trying here. We've seen it on all those other channels, but I'm not going to take it, my friend. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be falling prated. But yeah, you've made your comment felt indeed. More comments coming through. Phil Salt not available because of Park series.
Some part
Manoj,
of it.
little bit, not the entire one.
50 लाख फिर भी मतलब भाई
Worst
ऐसा
and best pick, Gambhir to KKR.
नहीं नहीं नहीं
Sachin. Sachin Monal saying Riley Resource upgrade Rajpaksa also back up with Besto and BMK.
This see
Huh.
that is what I agree with.
Hmm.
But based on a backup, it's okay. But Rajapaksha was not going to bat in the top two for you. तो थोड़ा वो मसले वाला है, but अभी ठीक है. They've taken it. क्या करें?
Okay, and BMK saying SRH and DC guest tried course correction. They want to call players from SC20 League and IPL. And remember, all the franchisees also have their own little contingent, like the MI, Emirates, or whatever you talk about. Them, the Durban Super Giants, will probably be in some sort of coalition with the Lucknow Super Giants, I'm guessing. And Rohan Patel, left field shot. If India wins 2-0, I'll be the secret Santa for Akshay. Wonder what you will give to him. Sachin Model saying he got 8 crore due to Taklu Uncle. Yeah, the Taklu Uncle was making some erratic calls, especially even Preeti Zinta and Kavya Maran in time. But look, they had their plans indeed. Ahmed Guna saying Akshay Dhamsala may not get any matches. PCB built a new stadium in Milanpur, which also looks like a batting paradise. But yeah, we appreciate that. Ramana Kiran saying SRH, Travis Head, recency bias, yes, but completely upsets the balance of 4 overseas combination. Put marks and questions ridiculous. Hope they don't play Head. But you know what, Ramana? If you heard what Murli Dharan had to say, who's in the SRH camp, said Travis Head is a definite starter. Even Dan Vittori said that. Even Murli
Oh,
said
it's
that. Yeah, definite
I
starter.
don't I don't buy anything that is coming out of the SRS camp. Sorry, Bully sir. Sorry. They only
Okay.
care about the main course. They don't care about any starter.
Even Sachin going on to say, I feel Head is a mismatch at SRH. And Jaydeep will take all these other miscellaneous questions in the fag end of the show. I know you guys still kind of keeping your comments coming through about India, South Africa, but we're just done with this whole IPL chat with the MNL question tonight. We'll move on to best of the rest, where we'll talk about a whole host of other things and show you our weekly newsletter as well. More comments really quickly. I'll never say CSK had a bad bye because Dhoni and CSK. Yeah, I mean literally CSK we can't criticize them, but the fact how Daryl Mitchell literally kind of was picked up literally moments before Preeti Zinta thought about him. And you could see that reel. I don't know if you guys have seen that reel. Share it to all you guys. And the fact that Sundar Raman behind like an alpha male first has got Dhoni on the phone saying, go for it. And then he has that guy who lifts a paddle. And then that whole Moi Moi song also. I mean, just honestly,
it's
one of the best
really
reels.
cute. Avnish still believes that Dhoni's on the phone saying कि हाँ हाँ इसको ले ले.
He is for
भाई
sure.
धोनी चिल कर रहा है दुबई में, वो देखा नहीं क्या पंत के साथ ये सब वो सब, वो चिल कर रहा है, वो बटर चिकन वो सब खा रहा है बस. Hey,
Yeah,
come
it's true.
on.
But this is a good shot for the worst bias. But Ashton Turner, I mean,
I
honestly,
still don't think no man. If anything, it's
I
actually
don't
a
agree.
very underrated
Very
pick.
good buy.
Yeah,
really?
actually, yeah. It's I think the other way around, based on what he's done, for Perth Scorchers and everything,
Yeah.
and given that उनको उसी area में काफी दिक्कत हुई थी last time, he could actually be
Yeah.
he could end up being a very underrated pick. So yeah, you never know. By no means would I call him the worst buy.
Yeah, see, you have to remember he bowls a good lot for Perth, and again bats on difficult decks and has found a way to score runs consistently. And he's a very big hitter if it's a flat day. So
Hmm.
I think by no means it is by that. Okay, we may not agree on him, but potential वहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा है, and they have always had issues finishing innings. Sometimes Badoni hasn't worked. Huda ऊपर नीचे हुआ है. So Turner could actually be a turning point for them. Who knows?
Okay, especially with JL there and KL calling the shots. Let's see how Ashton
Oh,
Turner
ah,
goes with that. Right, lots of IPL chat will, of course, happen in the future Monday Night Lives as well. Because, look, we want to dedicate an IPL corner, to be fair, because who does love IPL cricket? And there's so much of rumors. It's starting to become like football pretty much, even though sometimes not in the 9 months of the season. Even before that, there's so much to talk about and there's so much to debate as always. So that was a little segment in terms of the MNL question tonight. And keep the comments coming through if you guys are watching later, and if you guys are just joining us, a Merry Christmas indeed. More comments. Tom Curran to RCB saying Sunil Punjabi is the worst one. Yeah, we've reckoned that, but Akshay was saying Lockie would probably be worse. Worse by saying Marban is fun, 25 crores stock. I generally didn't see 25 crores for any player, but look, what's happened has happened, and Gambhir will be using him. So let's see. And yeah, we did the math. We saw the trolls. 1 lakh. I mean, sorry, 7 lakhs for a ball that Mitchell Stark will bowl in this year's IPL. Jaideep asks, is Spencer Johnson as good as Little? Nick's mentioned it. We all touched upon it earlier, Jaideep, where Little will probably get the go-ahead first, and then they'll bleed in young Spencer Johnson, who they spent 10 crores for. So I think that it'll unravel that way, right, Nix?
Yeah, hopefully that is how it'll go. And again, this just having him as an option is it's 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 luxury. There are teams who don't even have four frontline options at this point of time. So let's not get there.
Indeed, Raja Human randomly, Yash Karan, indeed. Okay, ask me what. Yeah, we saw this as well, which is crazy. And Sukhbir Singh, if you're new to the channel,
Sorry.
this is Singh.
Just great option. That can if you go back to that comment. So what RCB is probably doing is they're looking at notes and they're like, okay, KKR bowling attack they got 49, but they're not seeing the previous page. So GT के भी तुमने attack देख लिया, but previous page का जो attack है उसको भी देखो, and then it will work. If you only take the names on the second page, it will not work out. So good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Sukhbir, yeah, KKR fan, I'm guessing. And let's see
Uh,
how it goes for y'all. But yeah, let's move on to the next particular segment of Monday Night Live, like we always have, where we talk about everything in the world of cricket in the week which has gone by. Right, best of the rest. So much to talk about from pretty much Usman Khwaja's Dove symbol, which is, of course, garnered some news in the recent times. We'll, of course, talk about that. Kieran Pollard, can you believe it, is England's assistant coach for the T20 World Cup. Remember, he's MI's batting coach, and he still plays Abu Dhabi T10 and all of that. So that is a weird one for West Indies fans to take, especially happening in the Caribbean. You'd expect Pollard to be in the host camp, but that's not to be. What else has been making news? Rizwan will get the nod for the Boxing Day test over Sarfraz. If you look at their numbers, Rizwan, even though the two tests he's played, he's got an average of 45. So Pakistan and Shan Masood have decided to go with Mohammad Rizwan instead of their old Sarfraz Ahmed. I say with all due respect, all the Pakistan Sarfraz fans over there. And other things to hit our screens in terms of the best of the rest in the newsletter, which will hit your screens shortly. But Pakistan, Australia then, and we won't start with the starting 11s or won't talk about Boxing Day test because look, the writing's on the wall for Pakistan. We all know that. Even some quarters of their fans will admit that. But what do you guys make of that whole Usman Khwaja controversy? Just to lend context to the uninitiated, remember it was earlier that we saw ICC who denied Khwaja's latest attempt to raise awareness for the Gaza crisis, and he did that by absolutely not doing anything slanderous. His application was to display the image of a dove and an olive branch on his bat and shoes. And this, of course, is because it literally is, how do I put it? In terms of he thinks he's doing it rightfully and respectfully, and he goes on to say that all lives are equal, and I don't think it's very offensive as well to put something out there. We know Marnus Labuschagne uses the eagle in his bat. Lots of places use different sort of messaging, but apparently the ICC are not going to stand by it. So Akshay, Nikhil, not to sound too political, where do you guys stand in this, and do you think this is just harakiri and made too much?
I'll just go first. I'm forgetting who tweeted this, and I sort of resonate with that. I have. I mean, yeah. I mean, what's going on is wrong. Down in Israel, I have no to sort of. I mean, I have nothing much to add to that. And Khwaja, you do you. I'm not going to sort of again. It's to each their own. Everyone has their sort of personal opinions when it comes to this. But I feel ICC has sort of engaged in a classic case of the Streisand phenomena, which basically for the uninitiated, which basically refers to someone trying to quell something, someone trying to sort of suppress something, and the more they try to do, the more they try to stop something, the more popular, the more airtime it gets, and the more mainstream it becomes. Had they just let Usman Khwaja do his thing, I don't think he would have gotten this much airtime. I don't think this issue would have been blown out of proportion the way it has been. So that's just random. I have absolutely no clue why the ICC had to do that, but ICC being ICC here, that's all I have to say. As far as the actual sort of protest or whatever is concerned, again, like I said, it's completely personal. You do you have I have nothing against that. It's just ICC being ICC. So yeah.
Nikhil?
that is how ICC behaves whenever there is something important. So it was purposeful, and nothing else. So as Akshay said, uh, you have to respect individual uh, preferences, options, choices, whatever they want to say. but I just feel there is a different in terms of how different things are looked at differently, and that's where I feel hopefully someday somebody can wake up to ICC if there is something like an ICC, because I don't think they do anything apart from handing demerit points and do pitch ratings. That is all the job that they have right now. Baki sab calls to sub board zile rahe. We all know that. So nothing new in it. I just hope they can become consistent, because see, you don't want to nitpick that if you're allowing him this, allow him this. Eventually, you want to have a governing body who has its own voice, which is not dominated by anything, be it influenced by money or anything else or politics. You just want to see things as they are and honor good intentions. That's as simple as it can be. अब वो ईगल से चेंज होगा कि बैट के ग्लव से चेंज हो रहा है या एक डव से चेंज हो रहा है, यू नो व्हाट, if all that he wants to share is a good message, then I don't know what's the harm. But again, as Akshay said, it's ICC. I don't think even think that they think so much, which is weird because, as he said, you just allow it to. He's not doing something that is stopping the game or bringing disrespect to the game at any point of time. So yeah, and as Cummins, and I'm actually very glad that Cummins was backing his player. That's how I feel a captain should be, because again they also realize he's wanting to say something generic. Khwaja was very clear in saying that I want to keep religion out of it. अब इतना बोलने के बाद भी if you want to still make a mess of it, please go ahead, because that's what they'll do.
Absolutely
Yeah.
spot on, Nikhil and Sukhveer as well. I agree with you. We need some more consistency from ICC. In fact, the good old Michael Holding has gone on to criticize ICC in this regard, saying double standards where they've let and seen players have different sort of messaging in the past. You guys can go look up examples as well. Manas Labuschagne, like I mentioned, a one which comes to mind, but there've been so many. So let's see how Uzi goes about things tomorrow in that Boxing Day test. You guys can catch the coverage on cricket.com in terms of all the analysis and more Boxing Day news. So, of course, what are you waiting for? Download the app and the website. And Kushal Shah saying Tyson effect. You're right, Akshay, indeed. And yeah, this is a good spot too, because Hardik Pandya has that piece. I mean, will they come in there? Obviously, only time will tell, but it was quite crazy. Ashutosh also saying, sorry, but MS was made to change gloves when that was tribute, not political. Usman should have kept the same energy and chance of going outside of Sydney Opera House, can do it outside the field. And lots of you guys kind of having your thoughts about it, which is good to see. Let's, of course, tell you about the second thing and best of the rest of you want to talk about. I just shed light on it right now. Pollard as the new assistant coach. Is that a boost to them? Because they're anyway defending champions, Akshay. Do they need someone like Pollard? Because he apparently
Who,
will reveal all the
sorry, who's
secrets.
sorry, who's defending champions? Does it work like that? I'm not too sure. Sorry.
They don't defend anything. They don't defend anything. Yeah, they've made it clear. They don't
You,
defend anything.
you agree with Manoj?
I wish it was that simplistic. I wish coach ऐसा हर जगह जाके बस जोर जोर से बोल के स्कीमें बता दे वाला नहीं हर जगह चल रहा है. Doesn't work that way. And Pollard joining at, I mean, it definitely is a value add. Pollard is a T20 legend, a bona fide T20 legend in his own right. So of course, definitely a value add. And given that where the competition is going to be held, which is of course the Caribbean next year. So yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, the thing is, there's no point, thinking too much or talking too much about it, because at the end of the day, I don't think there's a lot a coach or a T20 batting consultant can do, outside the field. But yeah, definitely a handy choice, a handy pick. Yeah, I mean, I'd
See,
rather have him over
what they can do is they can tell you that an Ahmedabad pitch will get better under lights. So opt to bowl first, be the brave, and I don't think it can get lost in any of this. That this is why teams are doing this. You saw every overseas team has been trying to get a guy who have either been part of setup coaching franchises in that nation, so that they are able to get this intel. Case in point of England giving the same reason. I think it was Matt Motts who said in that one of the Sky podcasts that I wish we had taken a guy. God bless you, Akshay. We had taken a guy who could give us intel on venues and how they'd behave, so we would not end up making the mistake of opting to bowl first in Mumbai in that heat. So that's where teams are just trying to gain every small edge that they can in terms of just getting conditions right. Because eventually, if you don't get the conditions right, everything else is a domino effect. If you get this wrong, there is no way you can correct the rest that comes after that. So I think that's the sole purpose of every appointment that we see as consultant. So let's see. It is a good, I would say it's a good pick, because he's someone who's very, very tactically aware, and he's not afraid from trying things out. Let's put it that way. So they will definitely benefit from the intel. What they do with it is a completely different matter.
Indeed, it just makes you think how it really unravels going forward. And I was just looking at some of the comments as well coming through. Really, really appreciate it on this Christmas evening. Merry Christmas to all you lovely people out there in cricket.com. Thanks each and every one of you all joining us on Twitter, YouTube. Santosh going on to say, I thought today was an off for you guys, so didn't check. Well, here we are. I'm in office. Akshay's at home. Nikhil's at home. I don't know why I've come to office. I should have done it from home, but I was actually stuck in a lot of Bangalore traffic. And then I was like, look, I'm not going to jeopardize a Monday Night Live, 8 p.m. So I'll come through the office. So good old Manish and no one else. I wish I could pander the camera. Literally no one. And that's how it should be, because Christmas, go spend time with your family and watch cricket.com if you guys are doing that right now. Take Owen Morgan as India assistant coach, saying Manoj jokingly, and Ashutosh saying, meanwhile, India, which plays all group matches to the US, who they'll bring as a local consultant. Still a while away from the World Cup, so we'll of course leave that chat over there.
It's
Another
just one
comment.
reaction to it. The only answer to that is we don't do that here.
Yeah, we don't do that here. Absolutely well said. By the way, nothing else really making news, but can catch it on that newsletter.
Just
Akshay, go
one
on.
thing. As an RCB fan, how the hell can you not bring Tom Curran and
I was just going to say only the Tom Curran, because he appealed and he went on to, of course, say that he was really regretting the fact that he went on the umpire Mohammad Qureshi. I mean, 4 matches, but it serves him good, and it's ridiculous because these are like literally players who played so many games and they should know better. Akshay, when you saw that, obviously you're thinking from an RCB lens, be like, why we signed a player like him?
in all fairness, that wasn't the first thought that came to me. The first thought that came
Or
to me
was it
was,
that or was it that ball to Nicholas Purin, which is going viral on every RCB fan reel right now?
I have absolutely no clue what really you're talking about. I just nod in
He
agreement.
bowls a Yorker at Nicholas Purin in one of the games, and he literally leaves Nicholas Purin lying flat on the ground, and he tells him fuck off as well, which is really good, giving him the big one. But I don't know if
No,
you've seen that.
no clue. But what I was going to say is, my first thought was, how did he get away with just a 4 match ban? Because in all fairness, he should have been banned for the tournament. And to be honest, I wouldn't have. Yeah, exactly. I agree there. It was too lenient. If anything, he sort of was let away. With such a small suspension, because that was honestly outrageous and definitely something that you wouldn't want to see on the cricket field. There's absolutely no space whatsoever for anything like that. And you can regret, you can apologize all you want. Nothing changes that. And I just don't know how can someone even how can someone in their right mind do something like that? The only sort of possible rationale is that he wasn't in his right mind. So my sort of my guess is कि थोड़ा आ गए
Oh,
करके
whoa. Tom Curran, if you're watching, let me translate that for you.
भाई
He
कोई
basically
गलती
said,
से क्लिप डाल के इस नंबर पे मत डालना भाई ये गेस कर रहा हूँ करना है तो पूरा कंटेक्स्ट के साथ करो नहीं तो बाद में वो हाँ
okay, fair enough. By the way, more questions coming through, random ones, which we'll all take in a bit. Surya Sai in the 12th man corner in just about 5-10 minutes' time. And we'll move on to Akshay's quiz next. And Sachin, yeah, we'll talk about this as well in the 12th man corner. So remind me to take this comment. Let's move on to the quiz where you guys can win something. And I'm talking about this one. Right, how's that? It's that particular quiz in Monday Night Live, curated by the lovely Akshay Kumar Swami. Last week, it was this. What is it this week? But before we tell you, Akshay, the stage is yours.
Shabash. Is he speaking on mute?
Yes.
I'm not speaking. I was speaking here. Sorry, I
Sure,
was just
Okay.
taking it.
You're
Yeah,
not speaking. I was speaking here. Shabash, you've just done a
just
Tom
trying to
Curran.
be a bit. No. But anyways, yeah. To be clear, yeah, very simple question. We had all the logos put out, and we guys wanted. I mean, we wanted you guys to sort of predict or identify the player. And For a second, I also forgot who the player was. Thankfully, abhi yaad aa gaya dimag mein. It is, of course, Gurkirat Singh Maan, the namesake of our beloved Gurkirat Singh Gill Paji. And a lot of you got the answer right. A lot of you got the name right, but unfortunately, just one sort of correct. One person gets to win the voucher, and in this case, it is Kushal Shah. So congratulations, Kushal, on getting yourself the voucher. Just DM us on Twitter, DM cricket.com on Twitter, and yeah, get the voucher for yourself. This week again on similar lines, we've got one more set of teams, so to say, that a certain player has played for. So yeah, 2011 Chennai Super Kings, then the Rajasthan Royals, then the Mumbai Indians, then the Royal Challengers Bangalore, and finally the Kolkata Knight Riders. So there you go. These are the teams this particular player has represented in those respective years. All I want you guys to identify is who this player is. All right, fairly simple. And once again, guys, please do not forget. Do not put your answers out on the live chat. You'll have to wait for the stream to end, and you can only put it out on the main comment section. That's the only way you will be eligible to win the voucher. So make sure you don't put it out on the live chat. You're only helping fellow viewers. So that's pretty much it. 2011 Chennai, 2014 and 15 the Rajasthan Royals, then of course Mumbai Indians in 2016 and 17, RCB in 2018 and 19, and finally the KKR, the Kolkata Knight Riders, in 2021, 2022 and 2023. So yeah, there you go.
Super. This is slightly trickier than the last week answer, which even I got surprisingly, and I don't get that many right. But well done to the lads who got it right. Kushal Shah, reach out to us, like he said. And remember, the best way to do this: wait for Monday Night Live to end its stream, and then in the comments, like he said, let loose your answers. Literally, it's fastest finger first in terms of Howzzat at times. So keep them going. Key is he didn't play here. Make whatever you want to make of that.
He's referring to Pant. He's referring to Pant. थोड़ा ऊपर आप जाओगे ना, rabbit hole जैसा.
Fair. Okay, fair enough. We'll take this one as well for Nikhil Bhai in that 12th man corner, which is of course right here, right now. Right, we'll start off with that Manoj Anderson one. What happened to James Faulkner in international cricket after winning Player of the Year final in 2015, World Cup at age 24? It's a good question. Has he just fallen off?
He played quite a bit before eventually the PSL bit happened, and after that he's fallen out of way. Which again, see, he's not the first all-rounder to go down that route. Won't be the last one. In terms of losing your way, he had tough BBLs as well, so it doesn't help. But he had his best chance at a very early age. So, see, injuries and stuff, and with all-rounders, it's always even more trickier. So you have to, and because Australia and England produce a lot of them, you're always facing a lot more competition for that spot. So it is what it is. Harsh.
Okay. Do you buy into this? Because I don't know. I mean, if they've had a word with him, do you think it's a perfect successor? Is it something to laugh off?
I wish they add me to the WhatsApp group, but okay.
Akshay, do you think it's Dhoni and then his perfect successor is Pant?
I would love for it to happen, though. I'll put it out there. I'd love for it to happen, but I don't see it
Of
happening.
course, anyone would love for that to happen, but definitely not. In Dhoni's own words, ये अगर हो गया तो भाई किरण गांधी को बोरिया पिस्तर बांध के जैसे जमैका तलवार ने वापस बेच दिया ना अपना
That's also a harsh thing. I mean,
Yeah.
we should probably say that thank you, Jamaica Talavas. You gave
Yeah,
us some
true.
great CPL memories, but now it will not be Jamaica Talavas. It will be Antigua, hopefully. So let's see what happens there.
True. And Antigua did have a franchise before, na? Antigua
Yeah,
Hornbills
2 years,
or
Hawkbills
Ah,
करके कुछ तो था for 2 years.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it'll be back to that. But yeah, this is definitely not happening. This is as outlandish as it can get, to say the least.
Okay, Jaydeep asked a question regarding the Boxing Day testing. Will we see Gill tomorrow again in number 3, or are there any other players more capable than Gill to batting at that position?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I guess Gill would start in number
Gill
3 tomorrow. Yeah, बहुत सारा ये ऐसा हो गया. But yeah, again, Gill is one of those who's yet to sort of get going in the test format. So I'm hoping this turns out to be that one outstanding sort of series that he's looking forward to, that he's looking for to sort of cement his place. Right now, वो थोड़ा सा again By no means am I saying he'll be dropped or anything like that, but he's yet to have that one breakthrough series. I hope this turns out to be
Mm.
that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
I hope it is, but I don't get the confidence. But because three is a very tough spot, and South Africa is not an easy place. But hopefully, he doesn't have problem with bounce, is what I feel. So if he's able to just get in, fair, he'll do well.
All right. Next, why don't you take this one as well? Because Akshit saying, imagine being unsold in the first round, getting 8 crores in the accelerated round. Is it the biggest purchase in accelerated auction history? Rally Russo.
Potentially, it should potentially be one of those top fives. I don't remember anybody else going for so much after getting unsold. But it just tells you how unpredictable life is. You just have to be ready to take that chance. And Riley will also feel the same way, that he'll be grateful that he was in a position to be there. And you can't control. See, in any auction, in any phase, sorry to get philosophical about it, but it is nothing that is there in your hand.
Yeah.
So team just found a way to pick you up, and they did. So do your best, and that's what it is.
Okay, sticking with the IPL question themes, I'm guessing Ajay Mahadevan is asking us Akshay in terms of backups. So he says Maxi has Jax, Green has Curran, Joseph Topley, Faf. Who is it?
Andy Flower.
No, Jax is the replacement for both Faf and Maxi. I mean, not replacement, sorry,
Yeah,
backup for both
backup.
Faf and Maxi. I'm just trying to think who the eighth. Okay, Lockie Ferguson. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it is Will Jax, who is the backup for both Faf and Maxi. उसको तो मैं मानता ही नहीं. हाँ. But yeah,
Really?
yep.
Okay. Let's take some more questions, which of course were coming in earlier. Let me just try to scroll up the chat. Random shout out. There's so many new people in the comments. It's good to know. Subscribe and like, of course, and please tell us who do you think is going to start for that first test in South Africa. Raj Krishna saying Bavuma tomorrow. Is Bavuma playing tomorrow? Do you think he'll start? No, right?
He's a captain.
You
Yeah, but
guys,
no, I'm only asking you that because he's kind of they had some injury concern going
No,
into it.
no, no.
no. He's
And what?
available. मेरे को राज से पूछना है वो बहुमा क्वेश्चन मार्क किसके लिए है? अगर खेलने वाला चीज है तो भाई
I think
खेलता
he
है तो
meant something else. Maybe
हाँ.
the most runs
The
part. Maybe that's
predictions.
what.
Yeah.
Most runs is what.
Yeah, absolutely. One more question, which we'll take right now. A question is who between Mukesh and Prasid will play going by reputation since Jordan Track Prasid looks. We discussed that. We think Prasid will, but do you think Mukesh might or no? Because has he played a test? He played one in the West Indies, right?
West Indies, not yeah.
Yeah.
He played in the West Indies series, but Prasid definitely it should be Prasid, at least for me.
Yeah.
Okay, and last one here. If you were to play Ashwin at either of the venues, where would you play him?
Probably the
Has to
second
be.
one.
Yeah, Durbin, na has to be.
New Zealand.
Has
मतलब पहले century तो looks very tough.
Okay, fine, super. I think there's more questions which need answering to, but that will be definitely in the scheme of things. In fact, one more, and I'll be kind because it's Christmas. Abhinav Batra, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Is KL the only way forward for India in the absence of Pant in tests? Right now, I think so. He's proved himself in the ODIs. In T20s, I'm not sure. I really don't know. I still think there's opportunity for Sanju Saps, especially with that World Cup. But boys, how do you see it?
Yeah, you can go first, Akshay.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, yeah, this is the best solution, the most ideal solution, so to say, because having another specialist keeper would sort of take away a slot. And if the keeper is a good enough batter, then surely, yeah, maybe we can consider it. But if that's not the case, then again, like KS Bharat, Ishan Kishan, we've tried plenty of them. All of them have been sort of ad hoc solutions, but none of them have been able to cement their spot. So bringing someone like, I mean, KL Rahul keeping for us sort of helps us, bring in a batter like Shreyas Iyer, like anyone else. So it sort of saves us that slot. So yeah, definitely he is the way forward in the near future at least, until someone comes and cements the spot for himself. A certain Kumar Kushagra, for example, randomly throwing a name.
Okay, sorry, I know I said last one, but again, you guys are just getting chatty, which we love, and it's you guys at the community in cricket.com is so strong. So I'm not going to asking us. Next, you take this. Guys, how do you think South African cricket is affected by the quota system for coloured cricketers? It has to picking 11 in squads should be a thing at all. I will say my word on it, but next you can go first.
See, I think they have made amendments and rule changes in that aspect. In terms of earlier, it was different in terms of you had to have a set number in the 11 and or squads and all of that. uh, and again, it's not something that's directly where you can say that okay, this is the best way forward for it, because it's there for a reason, and it has to be implemented maybe in a way that helps everybody in the system who feels that okay, we get the opportunity to represent and we can go a long way as well. So I don't think it's something that's simple. I don't think it is stopping them, but I'm sure there can be things that can be done to make it better, but it will need everybody to get a buy-in from everybody, and that like the entire SA cricket system.
Yeah, that's the key over there, because if everyone has that sort of thought process, I think even Makaya and Dini said it in a very, very poignant Sky Sports documentary, which I saw recently, about how he went on to represent South Africa, being a black cricketer himself, and how there was previous travails before, but right now it's eased up, and that's why you can see a whole influx of black cricketers represent their trade for South Africa, which is onwards and upwards indeed. Akshay, more questions, and I know we kind of like to keep MNL and this segment quite relatively short, but if there's questions, we got to answer it. Do you see Aya, the test batter, going the Raina way or Ganguly way? Really quickly.
I'm genuinely trying to make sense of the question first. You know what? I'll just sort of let it go, and I'll say, Iyer the test batter will go the Iyer way. Let us wait. Acha khelega. I'm hoping he goes on to have a more illustrious career than both of them. So yeah, here's to that. That's all I
In
can
this
say because
format,
In
yeah,
this
in this
format.
specify
format,
kar,
in this format, yeah,
specify kar bhai.
nee,
Okay.
in this format.
Manoj Addison, quickly, which fast bowling all rounder do you take for the World Cup? World Cup chat's away, a while away, but right now, if I have to choose in the options you've given, I'll go Harshal.
भाई
But obviously,
पहला एक वर्ल्ड कप अभी एक महीना हुआ खत्म हुआ, थोड़ा सांस ले लो भाई मनोज भाई. लाइक दिस नो पॉइंट, अभी किसी का भी नाम ले लो, इट्स आज गुड. मतलब तुम मेरा नाम भी ले सकते हो अभी आईपीएल के बिना. मतलब आईपीएल से पहले कुछ भी फर्क नहीं पड़ता बिकॉज the selections are going to happen midway during the IPL, so we'll have to wait and watch. So yeah, let's do that. I've been thinking about this question and I have a couple of answers in mind. Varun CV comes to mind because वो 20 लाख के बेस प्राइस पे 8.4 crores पे गया था to Punjab in 2019. So that comes to mind because I remember reading a lot about it. 42x, 42x. So that's one name that's been coming to my mind. And Samir Rizvi also now again 20 to 8.4.
केसी
That's
करेपा,
KC was
is it?
3 ना, मतलब 3 या 4
उसके
करोड़ पे गया.
पहले
बट
पंजाब में क्या
3 या
था?
4 करोड़ मतलब
अच्छा,
एक्स पे तो नहीं था ना, मतलब
अच्छा,
टाइम्स. ही इज लुकिंग फॉर
टाइम्स,
टाइम.
ओके ओके
So yeah. First one was Ishant Sharma. I remember
फोर्थ
2008
वन,
IPL auction हुआ. Newspaper everywhere. That's the only thing. That's the only thing coming. 50,000 base price, 950,000 selling price, 19x is base
99.
price, 19x is base price. So I remember Ishant being the first, one of the first ones.
okay. Ajinkya, going on to say random question. Do you remember why Rhodes wasn't picked for this South Africa, beg your pardon, Sri Lanka, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa test in 2010 after Messian test debut? Even Badina didn't get chances, but Raina and Pujara debuted. It's about, again, the way of life and how it works. Rhodes now got a chance. I don't really remember how that musical chairs was going on with Team India at the moment, but Nikhil, do you remember 2010 vividly?
I mean, you remember the incident that did not allow him to make the test debut, and then he had to wait. And I think sometimes that is probably that's something that sums up Indian cricket. That at times it's been very random. At times it's been trying to take care of the past first. That okay, who was in the pecking order then? Let's go to this guy. Let's go to that guy. But we're not always looking to get people who are in form at that point of time. But again, times have changed. Uh, a lot of water has flown under the bridge, so to speak. And again, every captain and every management will have their picks, which is why Sky played the World Cup. So nothing's right and wrong. It's about just being there at the right time at the right place. Example in Q Riley Russo.
Okay. Cricket Darshan saying, as T20 cricket viewers, would you like an auction or a draft or a mix for viewership and squad retention wise? The way it's going, it's anyway just going to be like this. The purse will get bigger. It's anyway such an eventful day. I don't think they will really go into it that much. He also asked about the power surge being in the
Yeah.
third or fourth BBL season. It's a really good addition. I really like it. The fact that BBL has kind of pioneered a lot of things, not just the silly things or the aesthetic things. You talk about even the flats and the bumps, the toss pit. You talk about the stumps and how it's really lighting up. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw how Mark Waugh and Michael Vaughan were explaining that, but that was pretty cool. What do
See,
you
And
have
when
to
the
you
talk
cricket,
about
know what
this?
see,
BCCI decides to do? impact player. Just had
नहीं
to
सी
get
वो भी तो पीबीएल में आ गया था पहले भी
वही
so
ना,
it's
वो
not
सिली थिंग से उठाया क्या इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर जो
see when
मतलब
cricket doesn't do well you have to resort to things in terms of stumps and all of that but I think the one thing that I like definitely for the BBL is the power surge option because I think it gives them it is a lot more tactical as opposed to having see impact player is also tactical but it is impact player is a way to tell you it's okay to mess up your combination they are giving you a chance to correct your mistakes power surge is not like that power
But
surge
no,
is
impact player before the toss, but like announcing the 11s, after toss wala made sense. Abhi, you've also sort of allowed teams to announce their 11s
हाँ,
after the toss. So impact player tactically to hardly adds any value. This power surge, I
हाँ,
completely agree with you. Matlab bowlers, the bowling side now has a lot more in it. Matlab they now have to think about it. That's another layer of tactic that that they've involved. I genuinely love this rule. Completely
yeah.
agree with Nikhil bhai.
Okay, super guys. It's time to wrap up MNL, but really lots more comments. It's Christmas. It's good to see you all. And Raj is saying I like to see Sanju and Ashwin when it comes to
Let's
CSK.
hope
Hopefully that
Santa,
happens.
Santa grants you those wishes.
Or like how Raj said, it's Shanta, who apparently is my neighbor. So shout out to Shanta auntie if you're watching. Comment from my SA colleague. Indians and social media have far too much. I mean, yeah, I mean, we of course love talking about it. And Santosh, who of course threw in that question in the chat earlier, he goes on to say the hint of the answer is more than 40x
I did
indeed.
say Varun CV, he is 42x. Chris, I mean, अगर ये basic multiplication करे, this is 21.66. So Varun CV is twice this. Varun CV, Samir Rizvi, these would be my two names because both are 42x. So yeah.
Interesting, guys. We'll leave it there. Thank you so much for your time, Akshay and Nikhil. We've made everyone's Christmas a little bit more special in terms of giving them cricket content, apart from all the various gifts these guys have, of course, got in various regards. Thank you to the chat as well for being such spirited people. I mean, no puns there, but speaking of spirits, it's certainly time for the bar and definitely going to save a Christmas right now. I'm going to get out of office, but really good to see Akshay and Nikhil. We'll be back on the 1st of Jan 2024 for the brand new MNL episode 23. We'll probably call it season 2. Let's see how we feel on that day. But join us in a week's time, same place, 8 p.m. You know, guys, the drill is, of course, evident in your heads. Nikhil, thank you so much for your time. Akshay, it's time to say goodbye as well. And any New Year
See you tomorrow.
resolutions really quickly, because of course this South Africa India, we're doing the reviews and you guys will catch us, but before in this whole MNL sort of show we can of course clip it out for later. New Year resolutions, what would you like 2024?
I hope I don't cry just as much over RCB losses. Let's start with that.
Okay, Nikhil.
I don't know. Maybe one trophy for India finally.
I echo those thoughts. A World Cup's coming, home, and maybe an IPL too, but we'll leave that for another day. Thanks for watching. It's a goodbye from us, and Merry
Cheers.
Christmas to all you lovely people as always.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.